guys, welcome back to my channel and another video here. Today I thought we would do something kind of a little bit different than what I normally do. We're going to be talking about an app. I recently heard about this app for your phone that is available for both Apple users and Google Play users, and this is called Lacquergram. For those of you guys who are interested in like a easy way to organize and track your collection, this video might pique your interest. I'm just doing a very thorough review of this app and talking about some of its cool features, how to go through and use it pretty efficiently, and just some of the pros and cons that I saw along the way. There was an app that a lot of people used before this called Snups, which I believe is now defunct and you can no longer use it. And a lot of people used this as a way to track their collection and, store photographs and things like that. And I feel like Lacquergram might be the answer to the little Snups shaped hole in your heart if you are missing that app, or if you're somebody who really doesn't know how to get started into organizing, this also might be something for you. I'm thinking about doing either like a small organization series or just one big video just talking about how I started organizing my collection, things that I've done in the past that worked for me in different scenarios, how I organize my polish and everything incoming from start to finish and all that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that, because I'm really thinking about putting that together. But honestly, that's for another video. Here we're talking about Lacquergram. So if you've been here for a while, you know that I use a spreadsheet to track my particular way of doing things. And I will link that in the cards if you've not seen my spreadsheet video. And I do link a copy of a dummy spreadsheet down below in every description box, so you guys can save a copy to your Google Drive if you want to use my spreadsheet for your own ways. All you have to do is save a copy to your own drive, and then you can go in and edit it however you please. But if you want more information on that, like I said, check out the spreadsheet video. But this is an alternative for those who don't really want to use a spreadsheet, or don't know how to use spreadsheets, or just aren't interested in spreadsheets. So the format of this video is just going to be, I'm going to take you through some of the basic functions and features of the app, highlight what I thought was interesting, and then we will talk about some pros and cons at the end. So I'm going to scooch over and I'm going to share my screen with you on the other half so that you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. So the first thing you see when you open up the app is the home screen, and something I liked about this already was at the very top you can see it'll tell you some of the newest collections that have come out, and if you click on that, it will just bring up everything in that collection, making it easy for you to add to your own personal collection. But otherwise, from this home screen, you can access the camera and actually take photos in the app to upload. You can access the search button and search for polishes and collections. There is this really cool, if you see the little magnifying glass with the photo in the background, you can search by photo for different colors, and you can also access your own profile from this little person down in the lower right-hand corner. So let's just start with the most basic function that I think a lot of people are looking for, and that is adding polishes to your stash. So the first thing you would do is just hit that little magnifying glass down in the bottom in the center, and you can already see there are a ton of brands listed here, and you could click one of these if you're interested, say in Deborah Lippman. You could click on that and it would be broken down by collection, and you can search within the brand up top, specific color, specific polish name, whatever. Or you can hit this show all and it will show you every single brand they have, which is quite a lot. So from here, let's search for a nail polish that we want to add to our collection. So let's do Flip Flop Fantasy by China Glaze, and then that will pull up the polish there, and you can click on it and you can see quite a lot of detail here. So the first thing I want to do, because I want to add this to my collection, is click that checkbox right there, that little check mark, that tick mark, and that will add it to your collection. Something cool about this is it shows you the name of the polish, the brand, the collection it is from, and then you can see how many other people using this app have it in their stash. You can see how many people have it on their wish list, and you can see how many people have it in their little Destash shop, which is really cool as well. You can also, there's a little like bookmark here, and that will add it to your wish list. But since I already have it in my collection, I'm going to take it off the wish list. If you hit this little plus sign by the My Notes section, you can add a lot of extra detail. So you have a comment section, which it is like a free form. You can write whatever you want. And like I would personally use this section for, you know, if I wanted to note that this polish stained, or I wanted to denote how many coats were needed, or like some of them, some of the polishes I have are minis, and I might want to denote that for myself as well. So I remember that this is not a full-size bottle. You can also add purchase price, purchase date, how many times you have used the polish, how many numbers of bottles you have. So if you have backups, you can tick those in. You can put the last usage date on there, where it's bought, or you can mark it as on the way so far, which I'm assuming is just for like in transit stuff. I personally don't think that I would use that too often, but some people might need to track their in transits a little bit more closely because you might have a lot coming in and you can't remember what's coming in and what is already arrived. The other nice thing is like there's a description here, and it has a couple tags so you can find it easily if you searched the words like peach or cream. You can add your own swatches. You can either take a photo right now, or you can upload an image that you have of your own, like saved to your phone, which is cool. You can share swatches with everybody. You can also add a personal review of the polish here. You can do like stars. You can put a little bit of a comment down there if you want. And it is really just that easy to add polishes to your collection. You know, anything you want to add, you can. I think, let's look at search. So you can see like a bunch comes up when you search. Very easy to use, very straightforward. You can search either by brand or color or polish name, however you choose to search, and then just hit that check mark. If you want to see all the polishes in your stash, then you would hit that little person icon in the bottom right-hand corner. And as you can see, this is my profile here. And at the very top, it has your stash. So you'd hit that, and you can, at the top here, toggle between viewing it by all the brands. It'll separate it out by brand, which is really nice. Or you can hit this one and it will show everything alphabetically, and you can look through it that way, which is nice. The other nice function here is you can hit this button and sort it by any polishes that have never been used. You can take out anything that is currently in your D-stash. You can exclude anything that is in transit or only show things that are in transit. You can choose to sort it by any of these here. They've got like producer code, purchase price, purchase date, number of uses, last usage date, or number of bottles. And then you can choose to sort it by ascending or descending. So you have a lot of ways that you can filter this and sort these in for your viewing or like browsing pleasure. And then the other thing you can do is hit this little magnifying glass, and you can search within your own stash, which is nice if you're like, do I have this polish? I can't remember, and you can search it that way. And one really fun thing that I liked, it's called the unicorn. It's this little dice up at the top, and when you hit it, it will just randomly pick a polish in your collection. So if you're like, what should I wear today? It will just give you a random one, and you can just, hit it as many times as you like. I know some people, when they're doing like project pans or something like that, this might be useful if you're like, okay, I want to do like 10 random polishes, and you just use this unicorn 10 times, and those are the polishes that are going to be in your project pan or something like that. So now let's say that you searched for a polish that they just don't have. So we'll come back to the search function, and I'll search for like Moxie Nail Varnish Truth, which is my favorite red. And it says, haven't found what you're looking for? Suggest your nail polish to be added. So if you can't find your polish on this database, you can hit that plus button, and you can, oh, that's my computer. And you can suggest something that you want to see. Now I'm going to skip the bottle picture because I don't have the bottle out right now. But you can sit here and you can add in the polish you want to add. So this one is going to be called Truth, and let's see, how many milliliters is Moxie? Oh, look at that, that's me. I think they are 15 ml bottles. So we will say 15. This is a, let's call it a bright candy apple red. We'll tag it as red. And a link to the polish or manufacturer's website. So I will just link straight to the polish so that they can see that. And then you hit this little like, what do you call those? Like paper airplane up in the corner. And then if you go to your profile again, you can check your suggested. You can see I tested this out the other day, but all of your suggesteds will be here, and then I believe they just have to undergo approval, and then they may be added into the app database where you can add it to your stash, but then other people will be able to add it to their stashes as well. The other cool function of this app is if you want to destash a polish. So let's just grab the first one at the top of my list. You can see one other person has this in their destash, but say that I just don't want, hashtag SE love anymore. All you have to do is hit this little $sign, and then it will ask you how much do you want to destash it for, and not 200. Whoa, like say I wanted to do like $2 US, right? Then you'd hit OK. And up next to the polish bottle, you can see there is a little dollar icon denoting that it went into your destash. And if I go to my destash section on my profile, it appears there as well. Now, I don't actually want to destash stuff because I don't destash anything. So I'm going to remove that from my destash. But let me show you what it looks like when you go to somebody's destash. Okay, so here's a polish that is in multiple destashes. You can see it's in 52 people's stashes, 5 wish lists, and 3 destashes. So if you hit the destash button, you will be pulled up to everybody who has it in their destash. And you can see, if somebody's listed a price, you can see what the price is. And all you would have to do is click on their profile and then hit the message button. And you can message them about their polish and try to, work something out with them. Obviously, this is a third-party type of sale. So, use caution whenever you're buying from any type of destash or third-party seller. You never know, what you're going to get. So just be cautious. But I will say I have bought from several destashes before. I've never had an issue. Everyone has always been nice, provided tracking and things like that. Just, trust your gut. And then the last thing I want to show you really quick as far as just your stash itself is archiving. So if you say you used up all of Zoya's Aggie right here, if you hit that check mark again, you're removing it from your stash, and it says, do you want to add the nail polish to the archive? If I hit yes, then I can go back and I can click on my archive, and there it is. You can see in my archive, I have Zoya's Aggie, and that is just really a function for people who like to track everything that they've sent out or whatever. Say you gave it away, you destashed it, whatever, you can archive it, and that's how you know, like, oh, I've owned this polish before. But obviously I still own Aggie because I don't get rid of anything. And so we will remove it from the archive and we will make sure that it remained in my stash. Okay, one of the last really cool features I wanted to talk to you guys about before I got into a lot of the pros and cons here is down here at the bottom. It's this picture with the magnifying glass over it. It says, we help you to find a nail polish that matches your outfit. Just take a picture of what you need to pick a color for and enjoy. So let's see. I have a cup here. I don't know how bright the light is, but you literally tap it and then you can, look, it's me. You can take a picture of the item and then hit match. And then it will give you a bunch of nail polishes that it thinks matches that picture you just took. And so it was a little bit dark, but you can see like that was a deep navy blue cup. And you can see a lot of the colors that they are recommending me are these deep navy blues. And I just thought that was such a fun feature. If you're like, you saw something, you're like, man, I wish I had a nail polish of that color. Take a picture of it with this app and it will give you a lot of suggestions. It's really fun. So those are kind of the main functions of the app as I saw it. I've been playing with this app since before before or around Christmas. That was when I really heard about it and I started adding stuff to it. And I just wanted to get a really like extended feel for it before I came on and told you guys about it, because I wanted to make sure that I had hit all the points. So let's get into some of the pros and cons. When you use a third-party organization system, not everything is always going to be perfectly customized to your organization preferences, which is kind of the main reason why I use a spreadsheet to cover all of my wants and needs. But obviously, not everyone is going to be able to have the time to sit down and create a spreadsheet, because it does take some time to kind of work out all the bugs. And, you know, especially if you have one that is like using formulas like mine and they're like all bouncing off each other in multiple pages and stuff like that, that takes some time to put together and make sure everything is working properly. Not everybody knows how to create spreadsheets like that because, you know, Excel isn't like, I don't want to say people don't know how to use Excel, but I feel like a lot of people really only know the most basic functions of Excel, if they know much at all, unless they're in a job that heavily uses Excel. And not everybody has the time to learn that. And some people, you know what? They don't want to. They don't want a spreadsheet. They want something that looks a lot nicer, like an app, something that they can just download and be done and be ready to use. So with all that in mind, here are my pros and cons. So let's start with the pros. Obviously, first pro, it's nice to look at. It's a lot nicer to look at than a spreadsheet. You know, my spreadsheet is utilitarian. It's very straightforward. There's no like decor or anything like that. The app, I mean, it's pretty straightforward as well, but it just looks a little bit nicer than a ton of like grids on a spreadsheet. Not everybody likes to look at that. So I will say it is much nicer to look at. Another pro is I found that the amount of detail you could include on a listing was really nice. The fact that you can not only write your own notes, but they've also put like number of uses, number of bottles, where you bought it, how much you bought it for. They really thought of everything. And that wasn't stuff that I had initially tracked when I first started my spreadsheet. When I first started my spreadsheet, it was polish name, polish color, and I think that's about it. Oh, and the brand, obviously. And it wasn't until much later that I started expanding into where I bought it, how much I bought it for, purchase date, times worn, things like that. A lot of that stuff I added in later. And so some of that data, like specifically purchase price and times worn, is missing from quite a lot of my early polishes, because it wasn't until I hit like 200 or 300 polishes that I started adding those columns into my spreadsheet. So it's nice that somebody who might first start out with their collection in this app, they have access to all that right away. Another pro that I liked is it lists the collection right there on the polish. So you know right when you pull up the polish, oh, this is from the Extra Stellar collection, or like, oh, this is from the Hollow Taco Tea Creams collection. Like, you know right away what collection it's from. I feel like sometimes when I buy older polishes, I'm like hunting and hunting for the collection name just to put it in my spreadsheet. Even though I don't really use it for anything, I like to know the collections that it came from. And so the fact that it's all right there for you in the app, really convenient. I don't have to spend 20 minutes trying to Google this one OPI and trying to figure out if it was from this collection or the re-promote collection or the re-promote of the re-promote of the re-promote of the collection. You know, it's really convenient. One of the biggest pros, I think, is just it is highly portable. I mean, it's on your phone. You have your phone with you everywhere you go, typically. So if you're at the store and you're like, gee, do I have this polish? You can flip, well, you can't flip your phone open. I'm gonna flip my phone open, and you can take a look and see like, oh, do I have this? No? Okay, let me add it in. You could even stand there right in the store and add it into your list right then and there. How convenient. It's just one of those really easy on-the-go types of apps. I like that about it, and I feel like a lot of people will find that very convenient. And the last big pro that I found with this app that kind of kept me going back was I really liked a couple of the little added bonus features that, you know, they're not necessary, but they are really fun. And that is the unicorn randomizer. You know, if you're just like, what should I wear? You can hit that. It's so nice. And the other one, I love the photo color match. I'm sure that there are apps that do that, but I love that they included that feature in the app itself, because that's not something I ever really would have thought of adding to an app like that. And I thought that was really creative and just a really cool bonus feature. So those were my pros. Let me get into some of my cons. And the first con that I have is if you have a larger collection, putting your collection into this app takes time. It takes a lot and a lot and a lot of time. A lot of time. It took so much time. I was literally like on my phone, blah, 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 putting these in over and over and over again. My wrists started to hurt. I was getting like annoyed. I was putting it in like several, like 100 at a time over the course of many days. It was really frustrating. I think that I probably didn't need to put my entire collection in because I don't really intend to use this as a collection tracker so much because, like I said, I have my spreadsheet, but I wanted to check this out and see what it was and like let you guys know about it if you weren't aware of it already. So I just felt like I had to put my whole collection in, I just had to do it because I had to get the full experience. And that would probably be my biggest complaint, is it took a lot of time. And now, don't get me wrong, no matter what organization system you're gonna use, it's going to take quite a lot of time to set it up initially, and then afterwards it's gonna be all maintenance. But this one just felt like extra bad because I just felt like, I'm on my phone the whole time and it's straining my wrists. And I don't know anything about app development. I don't know how easy this would be. But I think one way that it would have been really nice to kind of absolve some of that frustration is if there was a web counterpart to this app where I could log in online and I could use my full keyboard and like type everything out and search for everything and use my mouse and things like that and add everything to my list that way, or on the app, either way, and then it would all consolidate into one big list. And I don't know how easy or hard that would be, but that would be my biggest suggestion to this app, is add a web counterpart for people like me who don't love typing 10,000 million nail polish names into their phone over and over and over again. And my next con, which is actually my last one, I only have 2 cons for this app. My next con is not everything is on the app. From my collection, approximately 200 polishes were not able to be found on the app, which means that I would have to manually add 200 of them and wait for them to get approved before I could put them onto my stash. Now, I showed you guys, it's very easy to add a polish. However, like I said, I have over 200 polishes that just aren't in the app. So that would take quite a lot of time on my end. And then, if they don't get approved, well, then I can't even track those within my own stash. I don't know how easy the approval/disapproval system is. None of my polishes have been approved yet, but it's kind of like, oh, what if there's a polish that's a little bit on the rare side and they don't approve it, and it's like, now I don't have it in my stash, and so my app isn't complete. And of course, I don't expect the app writer to have like put every single nail polish in existence into the app. And I know that there has to be some level of moderation of what gets put in and what doesn't, so people aren't like accidentally putting in doubles or putting in like fake stuff or whatever. That was just something I noticed that I felt like could cause some issues in the future. If you're somebody who buys like maybe some really old polishes or polishes from brands that just aren't included on the app. Like, for example, you saw Moxie Nail Varnish. They're a much newer brand, so their stuff isn't in the app yet, and that's why I chose to add a couple of theirs in. But if you're buying from stuff that's like brand new, it's probably not going to be in the app yet. And then I have one point that's really neither here nor there. It's all about personal preference. For me, it's a con, but I don't think that this is con territory. Like, I don't think that a lot of people are universally going to be like, yeah, that's a bad thing. And that's just that the brand sublines are all mixed under one brand name. Like, what I mean by that is, Essie has multiple lines. They have Essie, they have Expressie, they have Gel Couture. Sally Hansen has 10 billion lines, and they aren't separated out when you click on like the Essie brand tab. So all of the collections from Expressie, Gel Couture, and the regular line, they're all going to be in that one section. Same with Sally Hansen. And for me, I separate that stuff out on my list in the brand name section. Like, I specify like, oh, this is Essie Gel Couture, or this is Sally Hansen Insta Dry, or this is OPI Infinite Shine. I make sure to differentiate those. I'm not sure that everyone does it that way. I'm almost certain that a lot of people don't do it that way. But for me, I didn't care for like that being mixed up. However, it really had no detrimental impact on how I use the app. I just, from a visual organization kind of a way, I just didn't care for it. But I feel like most people would be able to overlook that or not even care about it. One more thing I wanted to add is there is a paid version of this app. I did not try it out because, like I said, I'm not really using this for tracking necessarily. I just wanted to give it a shot and see. But the paid version is $1.99 a month, or it's $14.99 for the entire year. And from what I saw, there are 3 additional features that you get. You can add private swatches on there, so you can upload photos that only you can see. They won't go public or anything like that. You can set your own main photo for polishes. So if you didn't like the photo that like the brand displayed or something like that, you could put your own photo in. And that's just, I believe it would only be visible to you in that sense as well. And you can also increase your destash list size, which I am assuming that there is a cap to how many destash polishes you can have at any given time. I didn't look too deeply into that. Like I said, I'm not familiar with like the destashes on this website or on this app, but it seems like there is a cap on how many you can put on there, and it does increase if you pay for the app. So if you do really like this app, you may want to consider getting the paid version just to support the app and also get those extra features. So that was my somewhat, I hope, kind of thorough review of the app. I hope I did it a justice and showed you guys something pretty cool. My overall thoughts on this app, I like it. I think it is a really intuitive, easy to use app. I love a lot of the extra features. Like I said, that color match thing, that is like that. I found that several weeks in because I was really so busy just inputting all my polishes that I didn't explore the app initially. And once I did, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta see, what matches this and what matches that. And it was really fun to play with. I think this is like the perfect app for people who just don't know where to start, or they don't want to put a lot of time and effort into creating their own system, and they just want to use something that's already mapped out and laid out for them. This is a really convenient way to get into that. It could also be a really good jumping point for people who want to create their own system, but they need a little bit of inspiration. So you could try this one on for size for a little bit and take what you like and, create your own spreadsheet using that data. And like I said, personally, I'm going to continue using my spreadsheet because I'm a little bit anal about how things are organized. However, even after I was done in my testing phase of the app and was like, okay, I've learned everything I need to learn for this video, I'm still inputting all the new polishes that have come in just because I like using this app and I think it's cool. And I feel like this app is stronger the more people are on it, because it seems to be slightly community driven. We're uploading our own swatches, our own reviews. You can add your polishes that aren't in the app and things like that. So the more people who join it, the bigger potential it has to expand and grow in that way. And yeah, it's just been a really enjoyable experience overall. Like I said, the biggest issue I had was just putting 1,200 nail polishes into the app, and my wrists were like, please, Hillary, you're almost 30. We can't do this anymore. But yeah, I think that about covers it. Let me know down below if you use this app or if you have been inspired by me here to give it a try. And also let me know if you would be interested in seeing an organization series with me, just all about how I organize my nail polish from start to finish. And with all that said, I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.